Okay, there we go. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Hope you are all doing well. 5 minutes late here behind schedule because computers. That's why. And help me in welcoming CZsWorld. Do you want me to address you as CZsWorld, or would you rather I just call you by your first name?
I don't know. I haven't thought about that. How about CZ?
Okay, let's just.
I feel like that's a happy medium.
All right. Sounds good. All right. So let's see. This should have been tweeted out already, but in case it wasn't, let's go ahead and share it. When's the last time that you went to Halloween Horror Nights?
The last time that I went,
Yeah.
I went last year, probably middle of October. I was going to, because I moved out to the LA area like 5 years ago, so I was going to go to Knott's last year because I hadn't been there yet. But then they announced that they're going to do the Shining maze last year, and I was like, "There's no way I can miss out on that." So I did Halloween Horror Nights last year, and then I also did Fright Fest last year and did the mazes, which were surprisingly good. So then I got around to doing Knott's this year.
Gotcha. So, any complaints with Universal last year as far as like quality or expectations you had?
No complaints. I mean, I think I was quite biased because I was getting to walk through the maze of the Overlook Hotel, so I was just really excited about that, and maybe not giving the same critical analysis that I might give to it normally. But yeah, I had a pretty good time last year. I mean, it's crowded, and the time goes by very quickly when you're standing in line all day. But other than that, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's true. Were there a lot of like actors in costume walking all around last year? Because I noticed a lack of that this year.
I think at Halloween Horror Nights, they're less walking around and they're more in the mazes, which is one thing that I like better about the other parks. Because at the other parks, like you kind of have to be on high alert all the time. Like you never know when someone's going to scare you.
Yeah, exactly. So this is my first year going to any of these things, which we were talking about that before we jumped online, guys. I went to Universal Horror Nights this year, and I feel like for a place that puts on productions, they have the stages that film all these shows, I expected a little bit more. There weren't too many people walking around, even in the mazes. It was like these guys are afraid to get too close to you. So, and I get it, liability issues or whatever, but come on. Like, are you guys even trying anymore? Like, that's how I felt.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like have you done any of the ones where you have to sign a waiver?
No, I haven't, and I don't know that I would, but go on.
They're like they can be fun, but I feel like a lot of the times the ones like Universal are actually scarier because the ones where they can touch you, it's just like they try to make you feel uncomfortable and it's not necessarily scary. Whereas with the other ones, like you feel like they're gonna pop out at you and scare you. So I feel like it's more suspenseful actually when they don't touch you in a way.
So it's almost like the ones that can't touch you are trying too hard, that they just ruin the effect. That's what it sounds like.
Like not even that they're trying too hard, but just like the it's a different thing. Like it's more of a discomfort idea
Gotcha.
than it is being scared. At
Yeah,
least that's how I see it.
I read something about one. I think it's here in SoCal. It's in like Fontana or Fullerton, maybe Fullerton. I think it was. It was something with an F. I'm sure you're familiar with that area, but
Yeah.
I guess it's supposed to be one of those that you sign a waiver for it, and it actually turns out to be kind of like an obstacle course type thing. But because it's dark, it has like that, the like creepy maze type feeling. But it's really not a maze; it's an obstacle course because you get pelted with paintballs and all sorts of weird things. So
That sounds really fun.
yeah,
Well, when you went to Knott's, did you do the laser tag one?
the what?
There's one where there's this one maze where you go through and they give you like this laser tag gun, and the zombies actually are wearing like these receptors, and you go through it and shoot the zombies as you're going through the haunted house.
No, I don't even know if they had that this year. I didn't see that at all.
Well, yeah, I went this year and they had it. But yeah, that was it was pretty fun.
Which one was it?
What was it called? I can't remember which one it is.
They had
It
like
was
a.
one of the ones like in the corner where there's four mazes by the Ghost Rider.
Oh, I went into two out of the four, so it must have been one of the ones I didn't do.
Yeah. Did you do the flashlight one?
The flashlight. No.
So you did the two that don't have props.
One. That's great. No, I didn't do any props.
Yeah,
Like,
well, the laser tag one I think is a cool idea, and the one that you were telling me about where it's an obstacle course sounds really fun.
yeah, it definitely it sounds like it.
Did
Okay,
you
guys.
watch? Well, did
Huh?
you watch the Purge TV series at all?
I have not watched the TV series. I did go into that maze at Universal, but I
Mhm.
just wasn't impressed.
Yeah, it seems like they have a Purge one every year. But in the TV series, like I think it was in like the second episode, they capture this guy and they make him go through an obstacle course, and they're like live streaming it online or whatever. And I think that would be like a really cool concept for a horror maze.
I agree. I agree. I'm trying to think what the names of the Knots ones were. Now I have to know because I mean now I feel like I missed out on the best ones because I wasn't given anything for any of the mazes I did. Um,
Yeah, well, the dark one I think was called Trick or Treat,
I
and
didn't
that
do the trick or treat one. I know that.
yeah, that one was kind of underwhelming actually because they have like a flashlight one at Six Flags where they actually like take advantage of the fact that you have a flashlight. In the Knots one, it was just like, okay, you're holding the flashlight, but other than that, it's not any different. In the Six Flags one, it actually goes off like at certain points, so you're completely in the dark, and then like the
Oh,
walls move and change and stuff. So that one's super cool.
wow, that does sound pretty neat. I didn't really know anything about Six Flags doing anything. I'm just not a fan of Six Flags in general.
Yeah, I mean the one downside with that is you have to pay extra to do the mazes over there, but they do have some of the better mazes, surprisingly.
Gotcha. Well, I'd have to try that next year then. And
Yeah.
now I feel like I have to go back to Knott's. I'm pretty sure they're open through this weekend. Anyway, let's get to it. All right, guys. So now that I have you here and I have your attention, we are interviewing CZsWorld. He is one of the bigger narrators in the community, although does a lot more than just narrations. Narrations seem to be a very small part of his channel. So, would you like to tell us what you do?
Yeah, so I basically I just do horror is like the broadest terms that I can use to describe it. But I have a huge variety of stuff. My biggest series is called Things You Missed. Um, one sec, I have to mute the stream because I'm hearing the echo.
No
Okay.
worries.
Um, yeah, so the biggest series that I have is called Things You Missed, and that's kind of like a horror movie analysis show, where I analyze these horror films based on like the details that you might overlook. And then I have Al Dente Creepypasta, which is more probably the one that I would recommend most to your viewers, which is more of a traditional creepypasta narration series. But I try to take that a step further and do like animated visuals and cinematic sound design. So it's really like a big radio play experience. Um, so I love doing those videos. And I've recently started a new series called Dead Talks, where it's like a parody of TED Talks in a way, but I just talk about pretty much any horror topic.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I've done a variety of other series over the years, and also I should mention short films is like where I got my start, and I'm still planning on doing short films from time to time, but mostly focusing on Things You Missed and Al Dente Creepypasta.
Yeah, I noticed that your channel, I think your first upload was like 10 years ago, which is why I included the question of when would you say was like your official start in this whole YouTube thing?
Right. So like most people have like a secret YouTube channel that they started in middle school or whatever. I don't. I used my same channel all the way through. So like way back I was actually doing like roller coaster tycoon videos. I would make these parks and do tours of the parks and POVs of the rides and stuff. And from there, I kind of got into storytelling and started doing machinima using Roller Coaster Tycoon. And then I expanded into live action and eventually got into short films and horror short films as I do today. As far as like when I kind of became like a horror channel, I would say that was 2014 when I really started consistently putting out horror short films. Like my thing back then is I would do a horror short every month. But I guess the start of my channel as it is today would be in 2016 when I started doing commentary videos. And that started with Al Dente Creepypasta, which I started late in 2016. and people responded well to that. So then I opened it up to things you missed, talking about horror movies and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, you have so
It's
much
been a
going on
journey.
in your channel. Yeah, no, definitely. You have so much going on in your channel and you've managed to make it stick cohesively because I feel like a lot of the channels do various different things on their channel and for some reason their subscribers don't care for it, but your subscribers have continued to grow. So obviously you're doing something right.
I mean, I think it hasn't been as rosy as it looks, maybe because there are some projects that you can dig for on my channel that people didn't respond to that well. Or there's some stuff from very early on that I've unlisted. Like for example, I used to do the Dead Stream, which was like a live stream podcast type of thing that I did with Mortis Media and Lady White Rabbit, and like that one never really resonated with my audience as much. So we're not doing that anymore. But yeah, I mean, lately I've been trying to focus on what works for me. So I think if you, at a glance, if you look at the channel, um, that's kind of what you'll see.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, you can tell that there were different, I guess, periods of time when you were doing something very different than your usual, and then you come back to the original, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Let's backtrack a little. What made you name your channel ZZ's World?
Well, actually, with that, I can't tell you. Otherwise, I'd have to kill you and probably kill every person listening to this live stream.
Okay, let's not get murdered now. I mean, I know it's Halloween Eve, but I have lots to do tomorrow, so I don't want to get murdered. It's cool though. I understand. So, what drives you to continue making YouTube content?
I mean, the main thing is just that I love making it, obviously. But I think with new media, like YouTube specifically, what I love is the ability to interact with people, interact with the audience, and also interact with other creators, like we're doing right now, I guess. Um, the cool thing that YouTube does that like television and movies do not, I think, is the comments, which I think is one of the things that really drives me because just being able to put out content and get feedback from the audience is so cool. And I think it helps me become a better creator. And I think um, YouTube kind of forces you to put out a lot of content in order to figure out what works and be successful. And I think in doing that, I've gotten better and better at making videos as time goes on. And then like as far as like a long-term thing that drives me to continue, I think that's like building an audience on YouTube kind of helps me work towards my goal. Eventually, I'd like to direct a feature horror film.
Ooh, that's one of the biggest goals I've heard on here. That's
Yeah.
a great goal. Do you have
Um,
like a timeline that you want to achieve this by, or is this just eventually you want to do this?
I don't have a timeline right now. Like all I know is that I don't think right now I'm ready to do it. I think that I need to keep making shorts, and like when I make a short that I'm super satisfied with, then I'll kind of know that it's time to make a feature. And I think also like just I should focus on growing my channel right now and getting that audience. And then hopefully somewhere down the line I will meet someone who sees like, okay, this guy has experience directing shorts and he has experience growing an audience on YouTube, and that audience is going to want to see the movie and hopefully find someone to help fund a feature. But I do still love doing YouTube, and I would never ditch the YouTube content in order to become a film director, even if it ends up shifting my content to more like behind the scenes vlogs and stuff while I'm shooting.
Gotcha.
So I
You'd
want to
find
do both.
a way to make it work. I
What was
see.
that?
I said you'd find a way to make it work to continue this.
Right.
That's great that you have that outlook, and I think it's really intelligent what you're doing, that, you know, you're seeing this as a platform for something else in the future, for something bigger, hopefully in the future. Um,
I think a lot of the earlier YouTubers like got their chance to go to mainstream and kind of abandoned their channels, and it didn't work out for them because we don't hear about them anymore unless their name is Shane Dawson.
But yeah, that is true. I think it's one of those things where it's like you can't forget where you came from, right? Because the fan base or what originally got you the attention, it looks good on your resume, you know. And if you kind of abandon that, and then, you know, whatever you left it for fails, then what do you really have to come back to?
Right. And I don't know why people would want to abandon what they came from if that thing is YouTube.
I agree. I mean, it's always going to be a creative outlet, and usually the things that they grow into, the bigger things they grow into, are also creative projects. So why wouldn't you try to continue improving, even if it is on YouTube, to bring it to that bigger platform or whatever bigger project you're working on?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, we've seen just this year, Bo Burnham came out with his movie, and like, he hasn't been on YouTube for a while, but like he posted. Did you see that? It was kind of like not really a trailer, but just I'll just call it an experience to advertise his movie. So it was cool to see him kind of come full circle like that.
Yeah, I think I vaguely recall that earlier. Of the series that you do on your channel, which one is your favorite and why?
Right now, I'd probably have to go with Al Dente Creepypasta. I just have so much fun making it, and it's like it comes very easily to me because I don't have to worry about like having a crew and having a location as I would with with a film. I should probably also explain like Al Dente Creepypasta is not just like the typical get in front of a microphone and read a story.
Mhm.
I write the stories, their original stories, and I do like cinematic sound design. So really, it's like a whole kind of cinematic experience, like a radio play in a way, or sorry, a radio drama. Um, and then I do visuals with like animations and stock footage and stuff to really try to give like the most immersive experience that I can. Um, I really like being able to do everything that I want to just like from where I'm sitting right now. And it's less limiting as to what I can do with it because I can do any story that I want. If I'm doing a short film, then I'm kind of limited with my budget and like where I can shoot it and what I can feasibly pull off. But with Al Dente Creepypasta, I can just fully unleash my creativity with that. And um, like what I make can compete with like the best, most professional audiobooks. Whereas like with a short film, you can't make something that competes with like a $10 million movie.
Well, hopefully someday we get to see you have like a budget for like a $10 million movie and making all that come to life.
That would be very cool.
Yeah, I mean, money's a big issue, but it's always nice when you can bring your creativity to life.
Mhm. Well, another thing is I think that like some of the best movies do kind of have those constraints where they don't have a huge budget, but they find creative solutions. And I think that's like one of the things that I love about doing Al Dente Creepypasta. Like if there's like just off the top of my head here, like a monster sound effect, I can find a way to create that sound somewhere in this room, uh, and nobody will know the difference.
Wow. Yeah, it really makes you, I guess, go the extra mile for what you're making, especially because it sounds like you love what you do. And I always stress that it shows in the content, whether the creator loves what they do or they don't. So that's awesome. What is your proudest moment as a content creator?
I mean, it's probably going to be cliche, but the moment of getting the silver play button was probably my proudest moment. And I'm not someone who necessarily cares about like the material things. Like I never understand if someone buys an expensive watch because I just don't see the point of it. Like it tells the time. You could get a watch for $5 that tell the time. You could look at your phone. You could look at like the positioning of the sun on the sidewalk. Um, but I think like with the silver play button, it kind of symbolizes the the fans on YouTube in a way. Like it symbolizes the achievement. And I just remember whenever they first rolled out the creator awards, it seemed like this amazing, unattainable thing. And like actually reaching that just feels really good.
Did you do anything special the day that you got it?
Well, actually, what I did was I I did a compilation for Al Dente Creepypasta where it was like the best of season one, and hidden in there somewhere is at the beginning of the video I say that there's a surprise hidden somewhere in the video. So I do like the unboxing video of the silver play button.
Nice, very nice. Not didn't travel anywhere with it, didn't take it to Hawaii with you.
I didn't physically take the button anywhere, but when I did hit 100,000, me and a few of my YouTuber friends went to a rooftop bar in Santa Monica to
Ooh,
celebrate.
very nice, very nice.
Yeah, it was
And that
fun.
that leads me to my next question. Who are two horror content creators that you would like to meet in person? And I know that you know a lot of people in the YouTube community in person, unlike a lot of us, because of YouTube Space. Oh, by the way, guys, I have CZsWorld to thank for being able to access YouTube Space, which was amazing. Thank you for that again. Um,
Yeah, I wish we could keep those meetings going, but
Definitely.
uh, I think at some point we'll figure out another venue here. But yeah, I have been lucky enough to meet quite a few people. If I had to pick two that I haven't met yet, I think Pony Smasher would be really cool. And for those of you who don't know, that's David Sandberg, the guy who directed the short film Lights Out, and they decided to make that into a movie. And I think he was from Sweden at the time. So they brought him out to Los Angeles, and he got to direct the feature film version of Lights Out, which I'm a pretty big fan of. I thought that movie was a ton of fun, and from there he's made a career out of it. And he directed Annabelle Creation, and he's directing this DC comic movie Shazam, which comes
Oh,
out next
wow.
year, I think.
I didn't know that he was directing Shazam. That seems like quite a shift in gears there, but that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, a part of me wishes that he was doing another horror movie, but hopefully he gets back to it at some point.
Yeah, hopefully. Do you have a second one?
Yeah, second one, I would say maybe Rainbot, because she's like one of the first people that I met in this community, and she kind of gave me like my first major bit of exposure. We did a collaboration in, I want to say it was 2016, and that was like the first real push that I got from my channel. So yeah, I've always enjoyed talking to her, and I feel like I have to buy her lunch or something because she really helps get me my start.
Awesome. Yeah, she seems like a pretty cool lady. And she definitely speaks her mind, so it'd be nice to meet her in person.
And she's one of the robots on in our YouTube horror community, like yourself,
She is one of the bots. I originally thought that
part of the fam.
yeah, exactly. I originally thought that she was the original bot, but what is it? Litter bot was the original bot from what I'm told, and then it was her. And then I
Yeah,
came
that's
out and I
that's what
found
I've heard as well.
out. Yeah. Yeah, I had no idea there were others when I first made my channel. I was just like, a Margbot, let's go with it. And then people started asking, like, oh, Rainbot. I'm like, I don't even know who that is. But it was very early on.
See, they're all networking now. You guys are plotting against us.
We're all plotting against you,
There's
Skynet.
there's going to be an uprising.
Robot uprising is around the corner. I'm just letting you know. You've been warned. Anyway, what are your plans for the next 12 months as far as your channel?
So I do have a short film that I've been working on for quite some time now, and I see a comment in the chat from Kai asking about the next short film. So this is something that I actually shot like in 2016, and I've been trying to get it done, the editing, but it's taken forever because I've been trying to keep putting out the weekly content. And every time I've got to get a video out on YouTube, then that kind of gets put on hold. And then every time I come back to it, it's like, oh, I got to kind of refamiliarize myself with this. So that's slowly but surely getting done. I'd really like to have it out by this year, but at this point, I have no idea when that'll happen. And then, yeah, I mean, my main goal is to just continue to keep growing. Hopefully, in the next 12 months, I can get up to 300, 400,000 subscribers. And I'd like to, whenever I finish the short film and free up a little bit more time, I'd like to try starting another new narrative series as well.
Oh, very nice. They all sound like great projects to look forward to. And I, of course, get the exclusive once you hit 1 million, right? I get the exclusive interview.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Let's see what that's what the
What
gold.
what what do you mean by exclusive interview? Like I won't be able to talk to anyone else after that point?
No, 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 like, I get to interview you first.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Have you had any crazy fan occurrences? And I was really curious on that one with you because I know that you do go to events and you go to cons and I know you've done all that stuff. So I wondered if you had any crazy people come up to you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do a ton of events actually. I've done VidCon, and I'd like to do some of the other horror cons as well. Um, there have been a couple of interesting fan occurrences. It seems like a lot of people uh, will like kind of clearly recognize me, but they don't want to come up and say anything. Um, so I've noticed like someone trying to stealthily take a picture or something. So that's a little bit weird. There were some people who like noticed me and yelled like CZ out of a moving car, which
Wow.
I have no idea how like they could even be sure that it's me out of a moving car. But there was something a couple of weeks ago. I was moving out of my old apartment building, and there was one instance before where I was at like the community pool at that apartment, and there was somebody who recognized me. But as I was leaving that place for like the last time, I'd lived there for 3 years, and I got out of the elevator, and this guy's like, "Oh my God, it's you!" And yeah, like he recognized me from YouTube, and apparently, like he lived there the entire time, but we had just never run into each other before because I usually took the stairs, and in this case, I was taking the elevator, and it was probably the most over the top ecstatic person that I've met.
Maybe that's a good thing that you didn't see him till the end. No, no offense to your fans, but can you imagine living in the same building as, one or two of your fans or a couple of your fans? I'd
Yeah,
feel really awkward about it.
yeah, because like the first time when it happened at the pool, it was someone who was a guest there. Like they didn't live there. Their friend lived there or something. So that one, like, I wasn't too worried about it. But yeah, that I mean, hearing about some of the other stuff that's happened to YouTubers over the last couple of years with people coming to their houses, it's probably best if people don't know where I live.
Yeah, that's definitely different for you and your channel, as your face has always been out there. So, I mean, I would have thought that maybe you would have had some more crazy fan occurrences, but it's a good thing that you haven't.
Yeah, I mean, I think with me the audience is a little bit older, but more adults, so they do kind of understand that boundary as opposed to a lot of mainstream YouTubers who tend to have a younger audience, and they don't really draw the boundary, and for whatever reason, their parents don't draw the boundary. It seems like. Uh,
Yeah, I
I
mean, I can understand why some of the YouTubers, especially in the genre, get, the teenagers that are out there. But I think the scariest ones tend to be the adults. It's like these 40-year-old women or, just people who are kind of off the rocker. It's cringeworthy.
Yeah, I mean, if you do get crazy adults, then I imagine that is scarier than crazy kids.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's different to have a kid who's always messaging you nonstop as opposed to somebody just showing up at your door and saying, "Hey, I know who you are." But
No,
I hope
probably the coolest fan experience I had was yeah, it was last year. Did you ever go to the It's Neibolt House Hollywood?
no, they ran out of tickets.
Okay, so I went there. I didn't even I didn't even like contact them or tell them that I was coming, but I just got there and there was like a 4 hour line and they said like, oh, it's closed off for the night. Like you're not gonna make it in. And like I mentioned, I figured like, oh, it probably won't work, but I'll give it a shot. I mentioned that I had done the things you missed on it and that I was an influencer and stuff. And they're like, oh yeah, yeah. So basically like they let us in there. We got to skip the entire line, and then as we were coming out, it's like right there, I think it's like Hollywood and Vine. There's some people that recognized me and they're like taking pictures with me like on the
Ooh,
Hollywood Walk of Fame. I felt like I was so important.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I would feel important too.
yeah.
I mean, I imagine because I think you've gone to the YouTube like events, right? Where they have like red carpet events or I don't know, like parties at YouTube, right? Like, do you ever have those experiences there? Where
Yeah, like I've met some creators, people who are also creators who knew who I was. But those people tend to be more laid back than people who are just fans.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would figure so because they're like, okay, well, I'm just as big as you are, so.
Right.
But yeah, no, those sound like pretty neat experiences.
Mhm.
All right then, and in the spirit of Halloween, what is your favorite Halloween candy?
I love Twizzlers. I love the ones with the filling inside. And have you ever had the chocolate Twizzlers?
Nope, I've never had them.
I know it sounds terrible, but they're actually surprisingly good.
Oh, I'll have to check them out. I don't even
Yeah,
think
so
I've seen them.
those are really good. Mike and I, as far as like chocolate bars go, I really like Twix.
Gotcha. Okay, so no
What's
candy corn
what?
for you.
Well, what's your stance on the candy corn debate?
I don't like candy corn at all, not even the least bit.
So I just so happened to have put out a poll on my community tab earlier today, just because I felt like it. So I said candy corn or nah. Let's see what the latest results are. Um, so there's 1.3 thousand votes right now.
Oh,
Uh, 67% say they like candy corn, and 33% said I don't like it, but I acknowledge that I'm wrong, which is the other option that I put.
you know what? That's not even a real option, Susie. I just can't do candy corn. I don't know. I've just never been a fan of it. And I feel like that's such a divisive topic for candy is candy corn. Kind of like pineapple on pizza.
I actually, this is another controversial topic, but I don't like cheese.
Oh, that's
So
fine. I mean, I
I have
don't
no stance in
really
the
don't
pineapple pizza debate.
so you don't even like it on pizza then?
Well, no, I don't eat pizza at all.
Oh,
Now, would you put candy corn on pizza?
no, that's gross. Hold on, but do you not eat pizza because you don't like pizza itself, or do you not like pizza because usually it's made with cheese?
I mean, I have had cheeseless pizza and it's fine, but it's also just kind of like bread and sauce. So
Yeah.
it's not like something that I crave. But yeah, I just don't eat cheese.
Okay. What is it about cheese that you don't like, if you don't mind me asking?
Um, I don't know. It's hard to say for sure. I think because I used to like it when I was like much younger, but I think I had a bad experience where I ate it and I got sick, and now my body just kind of associates it with
Oh,
being sick or something. So no, I just like can't down it anymore.
yeah. See, I have that kind of thing happen with, I don't even know if they still make these, but do you remember when we were kids, there were like these little like cracker things that came with cheese together? Like it was like
Yeah,
a snack.
like the little sandwiches.
Yeah, I can't eat those because I
Mhm.
relate them to being really sick. So
Yeah.
every time I see them, it's like I just, I'm done.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well,
Very good.
what is your favorite Halloween candy?
I don't know that I have a favorite Halloween candy. I feel like as I've gotten older, I like candy less and less, to be honest with you. But I was a huge fan of gummy bears in their day. And as far as chocolate, I guess this is more of an adult chocolate, but the Ferreros are so good. It's like my favorite kind of chocolate.
What are the Ferrers? I don't think I'm familiar with that.
They're like usually wrapped in like gold foil. I'm pretty sure if you saw a picture of them, you'd probably recognize them because they're very popular.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's like a little ball of chocolate, and inside it has like this other chocolatey filling. I forget. I think it's hazelnut inside. And it's like wrapped in a gold foil.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. But yeah, not huge on candy anymore. But yeah, definitely gummy bears and Ferreros. That's just how I roll now.
Mhm.
Are you doing anything for Halloween?
Yeah, I mean, I've been so busy with the channel and moving that I wish that I was doing more, but I've got, as content wise, I've got a video coming out tomorrow, which is going to be things you missed in the second trailer for Glass. So I'm excited about that one. And then tomorrow night, I'm going to one of my YouTuber friends is having a Halloween party. You can come if you want.
Very nice. See, I'm invited. Awesome. Where's it at? Just tell me after. It's okay.
Okay.
You don't want everybody over there. Oh gosh.
We'll just get like 100 people from your audience showing up, flying in from all
Absolutely.
corners of the globe.
Hey, if you guys show up, you better be really like well dressed.
You better
Like
have a good costume.
exactly. You better have like the best costume ever, because if not, you're not getting in the door. Just saying. And there's $100 cover charge that I'm charging. The end.
Do you have a costume for tomorrow?
I do. I actually went down to San Diego this past weekend and celebrated down there because, it's like a college area. So they had their own thing going on over there.
Mhm.
It was a lot of fun, but I'm not particularly doing anything tomorrow. So we'll see.
Well, I was gonna ask like what costume?
Oh, I actually haven't posted a picture of it. I was what do you call it?
Do robots wear costumes?
A ninja. Huh? What?
I said, do robots wear costumes?
Yes, they do. We're allowed to change skins every once in a while, for special
Mm,
occasions. But yeah, no, I was a ninja, which was lots of fun. It kind of just fell into place last minute because that's not what I was looking for. Like, if I have to be honest, the costume that I wanted and I've wanted for a couple years, it's the Ezio costume from Assassin's Creed. But either I always wait for the last minute because I don't actually plan ahead as to what I'm going to do that day, or it's just too expensive.
yeah. Like those hoods are so cool how they kind of like stay perked up, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
I don't know how that works in real life, but whenever I see those costumes, they look really cool.
they do. But you know what? I wouldn't want to buy one that's like a $30, $40 one that's just cheap. And then you see people taking pictures in them and it just looks terrible. I'd
Yeah.
legitimately want like the $150 plus costume. So maybe someday I'll be able to do it.
I did this Assassin's Creed like parody commercial thing in high school. I don't think it's still up on my channel, but it might be. But it was basically like a bathrobe combined with a hoodie.
Oh my God. How did it look? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, one being just the worst thing in the world and 10 being amazing.
I mean, on camera, it probably looks like a decent 7, but if you were to actually see it in real life, it would probably look like a 1.
Like you wouldn't wear it to an actual Halloween party, is what you're saying.
Not unless not unless there were like open baths being taken.
Got it. Okay. Oh,
So
and
no.
said I thought Margbot was going to be Margbot for Halloween, LMAO. Last year, I thought about doing that, like about having somebody amazing with makeup actually do my face, like, Margbot, like having it like look like half my skin is peeling off. But I haven't been able to find anybody to do that for me. So no Margbot this year. Sorry.
All right. Another, you asked me if I did anything for 100K, and you're reminding me now. I also did like this little music video thing where I created this mask that looks like the CZsWorld logo, and I did a music video of me playing guitar while wearing that mask in the park at Echo Park.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So how did the ZZ's logo come about?
Um, a lot of people have noticed that it looks very similar to the Hollow mask from Bleach.
Uh-huh.
And it is inspired by that. It's kind of like my own version of like if I was a Hollow in Bleach, that's what I might look like.
Gotcha. All right, now we know.
Yeah, and also I'm not like a huge Bleach fan. I just think the design aesthetic of it is really cool. Like I've seen a couple seasons of it, but people assume that like I've seen all whatever it is, 2 million episodes.
Or whatever. Yeah, I'm like that with a couple of things where I really like certain aspects of a story or like, the animation they use, et cetera, et cetera. And then I'll like put out there that I enjoy this and people think I'm like obsessed with it. I'm like, no, no, just because I like something doesn't mean I have to be obsessed with it.
Right.
Yeah, let's see.
Also, I think it happens like if you know a lot about something, then people assume that you like it.
And that's not always the case. Sometimes
Right.
just, circumstances led you to knowing a lot about something. Have you
Mhm.
seen Halloween yet? Totally random, but
I have. Um, I wasn't. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the series in general. And this was just like 100% nostalgia and 0% making an actual movie. It felt like.
oh, okay.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it, but I have to be honest, I love the Halloween movies and
Mhm.
I love this one. But like you said, it's a lot of nostalgia. So maybe that's the reason I loved it. Because I kind of want to go see it again tomorrow, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, The analogy that I made was that it's kind of like the Force Awakens of Halloween. So I could see if you're like a big fan of the original that you would have a lot of fun watching this new one.
Yeah, but I can't imagine somebody who's never seen it or has only seen like Halloween H2O or whatever
Mhm.
enjoying it. So I agree with you there.
H2O is actually my favorite one.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I will
I
agree to disagree. I don't know. There's just been so many changes throughout all those movies that it's like, okay, I appreciate the fact that you guys made this a sequel to the original movie instead of a sequel to the 10 other sequels.
Yeah, I mean the timeline is such a mess now. It's crazy, but
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, do you guys have any questions for ZZ? While I have him here because he is a very busy man. He's off to I don't know, direct the next movie. Let's see. Did anybody post anything in the chat? Mm, no, it is not an imposter disease, Axeman, if you're still around. I met the guy in person, so I would know. Um,
here, I can prove it with having a check mark.
oh my god.
It's the real me.
It's the real.
I mean, I guess nothing would be there to prove that like a cyborg that looks like me didn't come to my house and log onto my account and do this interview. But
Maybe
I don't
it was
know.
the
I don't know how
cyborg.
I'd prove that.
I could have sent the cyborg, that's true. But you guys will never know. Let's see.
This person's saying that H2O just had a bad Michael Myers mask and it looked weird.
It's
I
my
think I think that people who are a fan of the series are much more invested in like what the mask looks like. I will say that the mask in the new one looks cool.
I agree. I do agree. The mask means a lot to us.
But for me, like the stories and the characters are the most important.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis is just such a great actress.
Mm-hmm.
I love her.
Yeah, I feel like the new one would have been stronger if it had focused more on just her versus Michael, because there were all these other characters who kind of started to have storylines, and then they just didn't anymore. Like the granddaughter's boyfriend, like they introduce him at the having dinner with the family, and then he's in that one scene, and then he's just gone.
Yeah, too many characters that didn't have any follow up. I do agree with that.
Yeah, and then there's like the friend um
Just
who
random,
follows her around for a while, and then like they get in a fight and then he's just gone.
yeah, just kind of filler like people. No, I get that. Do you think they'll make a second or not a second one, but I guess another one?
Yeah, I mean it definitely seems like this was set up to have a sequel, and it seems like it made a lot of money, so I'm sure that there will be another one in the next year or two.
Hopefully they don't butcher it because I mean I like this even if it's just for the nostalgia factor. I think it was a good movie, but I mean I feel like if they continue making more, I'm afraid it's just going to end up the same mess that we currently have.
Yeah, I mean there was this one realization that I had where it's kind of sad thinking about like the granddaughter didn't really have any importance to the movie. The daughter kind of did. Like the daughter kind of had a character arc to where she just thought that that Laurie was crazy, and then she actually helps out at the end. But the granddaughter didn't really do a whole lot, and I just came to the realization that she was just there because they know that they want to continue making Halloween movies, and Jamie Lee Curtis won't be around forever.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like with the timing of it and the age of Michael's character, they needed to bring in somebody else because I mean, within the movie universe, Michael wasn't going to be around forever either.
Well, I mean, Michael, I feel like anyone can play him because he's wearing a mask, and he's immortal, so they can keep using him in any movie. Have you seen Halloween 3?
Which one was that one?
The one that does not feature Michael Myers, where it's about like the company that creates the Halloween masks.
No, I don't think I've seen that one. I like
Okay, so
it.
the original idea for the Halloween franchise was to make it an anthology series. And so they made Halloween with Michael Myers, and they saw that was successful. So then they made Halloween 2. But then from that point forward, that they wanted to have like a different story and universe in each movie. Um, Halloween 3 is like very poorly made, but it has good ideas behind it. And I think if they had actually stuck with the idea of making it an anthology series about just these different stories that take place on Halloween, that actually would have been pretty cool.
Maybe because that movie didn't do so well, that's why they chose not to follow up with it. That's my guess. Because I feel like every time I hear about that one, it's always referenced as like the black sheep of the group.
Well, yeah, and because it's like a totally different story, and all the other ones are
Yeah,
about Michael Myers.
yeah,
And I think just the initial success of Halloween and like the success of that character is what made them go into the direction that they did,
yeah,
which you can't really blame them for wanting to replicate something that's successful. But
yeah. I agree because Michael is successful. Haha.
yeah,
Let's see what direction they take the next one in. I think we have a good idea, but I'm not going to spoil it for anyone in case you guys haven't seen it.
yeah, and I mean they also left things that were clearly unanswered. So
Yeah, I agree. And that ending, I mean, I feel like the way they ended that is like the way they end a lot of things. I'm not even
yeah,
making sense now.
so as a Halloween fan, would you rather have them have like done this as like a final goodbye to the series, or would you prefer that they leave it open and risk like another possible Halloween resurrection situation?
You know what? I prefer that they leave it open, and I think that's just how I am with movies that I enjoy in general, even though they kind of go on a downward spiral, because I'm like that with the Transformers movies. So obviously, I'm a huge fan of robots, and I'm a huge fan of Transformers, but I acknowledge that most, if not all, of the Transformers movies aren't very good. Do I keep watching them? Do I keep giving them my money? Yeah, because I love seeing the robots. I don't care about the storyline. I don't care about the people. I care about the robots. Okay,
Mm,
the explosions. So I continue going, and I will admit they're not good movies. And I feel like that's how it is with Halloween. It's like, okay, give me gore, give me Michael's mask. I'm good. I will keep giving you my money.
yeah.
But you also take it with a grain of salt because at some point they do stop making them because people are just like, this is trash. I'm done. So enjoy it while it lasts, I guess.
I mean, I guess with Halloween, even if they do decide to end like that storyline, then they can always just create another universe as they have continued to do. So
Yeah, I agree. I guess time will tell. All right, guys. So thank you so much, Zizi, for allowing me to interview you. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day. And I know you've been really busy lately. So thank you so much for that. And thank you to you guys for watching. I always appreciate it, especially because I know it's like a Tuesday, but I kind of want to do like a Halloween Eve thing because I know a lot of people are probably going to be out trick or treating or going to a party or something tomorrow. Because apparently, somehow, a lot of people are partying even though it's a Wednesday. Because I've talked to different people and I'm like, how do you do it? But yeah, I did hear stories. Apparently, you're one of them, Zizi. You're out there partying. I wish I could be.
I love that super chat for $31.
Oh, snap. Empoleon. Thank you so much. I know it's tomorrow, but happy Halloween, Margbot. One of my goals for 2019 is to meet you at a future convention, such as Scarelay and LA Comic Con. Halloween 2018 is the best horror sequel, and it should stay that way. I don't know that it's the best sequel, because I mean, I don't know. That's pretty up there, but it is a good one. As for meeting me at a con 2019, it would probably be VidCon. And you'll probably see this guy there too.
Yeah, we'll have to get you out to VidCon next year.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to be out at VidCon because I know they invited me this year, but I wasn't able to go. So maybe you'll catch me and Zizi next year at VidCon. And thank you so much, Empoleon, once again for your donations. They really do help. Anyway, guys, so I will catch you all later. And yeah, stay safe out there if you are partying or whatever you're doing. Remember to check your candy because, I mean, obviously, we've all heard the stories. Hello, horror community. Don't want to eat any razors or anything. But that is all I have for you now. And I guess Margbot out. Do you have any? Hold on. Do you have any last words, Zizi? That was rude of me.
Thanks so much for having me, and I will see you in the next one, assuming we both survive.
Hopefully, don't party too hard. Catch you later. Bye.